Shalom, holy initiates and holy adepts. This is part 3 of an ongoing series on High Holy Magic, that is, true ancient holy magic, as was instituted by our most divine legislator, Moshe. Now, for this video, I would say that some highly suggested prerequisites would be my series on Adam Kadmon and my series on Lilith, because later on in this video I will be covering some very advanced hidden aspects of Shekhinah, our Heavenly Mother. So in seeing these videos, especially my series on Lilith, it will give you a higher appreciation and understanding of these hidden aspects of Shekhinah. Also, just as important is if you've seen part 1 of this series, then you know that one of the holy implements for engaging and executing high holy magic is to have an altar to burn incense. So as I stated in that video, the most powerful and potent form of burning incense is to burn it the way the ancients did, which is with a small sort of cauldron with sand and charcoal, and acquiring the actual resin, so that is highly suggested. But if you do not want to go that route for whatever reason, burning incense cones or sticks, I think, is just as fine as well. But I like to put a high emphasis on burning incense the way the ancients did, because it is the most powerful and potent way to burn incense. Okay, so now I want to begin with the scriptural proof that indeed it is okay to burn incense as a holy Zadik, because for a very long time, many centuries, there has been a lot of ignorant Christians and even Jews who would sort of look at burning incense as a taboo. It's something that we associate, or at least that the Western world associates, with the Eastern peoples, like Tibetans, Indians, etc., because they burn a lot of incense. Unfortunately, they burn incense to the other Elohim. But we true ancient Jews like myself are actually Eastern, not Western, and so therefore are not set and brainwashed and deceived in the Western Gentile mindset, like so many Christians and even to a large extent Jews are, or at least Jews that live in the Western world for that matter. So I really think it's important to put things into context here and to reveal this most essential understanding. Now, the first point that needs to be made is that every place burning incense is rebuked in the Tanakh is due to it being done to other Elohim. It's not to say that Elohim frowns upon Israelites burning incense. Far be from it. In fact, he commanded the Kohanim to do it on a daily basis in the Holy Temple. And there was most definitely Israelites that were also doing it in their own homes. So it's not that Elohim has an issue with burning incense. You'd have to be very stupid and ignorant, or at least display a great ignorance of the Holy Scriptures to believe that. It's that he hates when it's done to other Elohim. That's the key point here, okay? Now, the most explicit proof that it's okay for us Israelites to burn incense to Elohei Israel is found in Sefer Malachi in chapter 1, verse 11, where it states, "For from the rising of the sun, even unto the going down of the same, my name shall be great among the Goyim, and in every place incense shall be offered unto my name, and a pure offering, for my name shall be great among the Goyim, saith Adonai Zabaoth." So here we have a prophecy of Malachi saying, yeah, the great day is coming when many of the Goyim will be serving Elohei Israel, and they're going to be burning incense, to him. If I always like to say, if the Goyim are going to be burning incense, or should be burning incense to Elohei Israel, how much more us Israelites and Jews? I mean, come on, this is something so basic. But again, there's just this prevalent, disturbing ignorance that pervades, much of the Western religious world. It's very, very lamentable, to say the least. Okay, so let's move on. So now let us speak a little bit about the Shabbat rituals that are performed by many Orthodox Jews. Right? We see that many Jews place halach bread in imitation of the bread of the presence in the Holy Temple. So there was 12 loaves of bread that were placed in the Holy Temple, and Jews, as an imitation of this, will place challah bread, in their homes. It's an imitation of this, and some very zealous Orthodox Jews like myself would like to place 12 sections of a loaf of challah bread in imitation of this. Okay. Also, they light candles in imitation of the lamps that are kindled in the Holy Temple, and they also bless their family. They also recite many blessings towards their family in imitation of the Kohanim's blessings in the Holy Temple. So many of the rituals that are performed on Shabbat by us Orthodox Jews are an imitation of the rituals that were performed in the Holy Temple. This is done in remembrance of our ancient Holy Temple. To never forget these rituals. Okay. However, there's one very critical missing ritual, and that is burning incense. Many Orthodox Jews, at least as far as I'm concerned, don't burn incense on Shabbat, which they should be doing, in my humble opinion. Okay. Again, this is to be done in imitation of the incense that was burned in the Holy Temple. Okay. And so I think that, or I know that, the maximum potential of spiritual power and energy that can be channeled on this most holy day is not being reached due to this core, critical, momentous ritual that is missing in most Jewish homes on Shabbat, or in this case, Israelite homes, since there are now many Israelites of Beit Ephraim that are coming back to their roots. Okay. So now, let us speak on some of the mysteries and secrets behind burning incense, okay? For that, we'll go to Sefer HaZohar in Book 2, in folios 218b to 219a. It states, "Come and see what is written," and then it quotes Sefer Bamidbar, chapter 16, verse 46, where it states, "Take the fire pan and place fire upon it from the altar and put in incense." Why, it asks? Because, quoting the latter part of the verse, "For the fury has gone forth from before Adonai, the plague has begun. For nothing breaks that side except incense, since nothing is as beloved to Hakadosh Baruch Hu as incense. Therefore, it can eliminate sorcery and evil from the home. The matter is an established decree before the Holy One, blessed be He, that whoever reads and contemplates every day the preparation of the incense will be saved from all elements of sorcery in the world, all mishaps, evil, and pestilence. We have already established that incense binds links." So here in context, it's quoting this verse in the Torah where, Adonai gets very, very upset with Israel. And because of his great wrath, he's about to unleash a plague upon Israel. Okay, and so what happens is that Moshe is commanded, and as well as Aharon, to go and light incense. Okay, and if you understand the mystery and essence behind the context of these verses, why are Moshe and Aharon burning incense? Well, the Kabbalists tell you because the plague is about to begin, and the wrath of Adonai is about to be poured out. And in an effort to stop it and abate it, they are not going to burn incense, which gives you the great mystery and secret of incense. Incense is the most powerful form of magic and act that you can do to abate, decrease, or completely halt the wrath and fury of Adonai. And of course, Moshe and Aharon, the chief magicians, the chief ceremonial magicians of Israel at that time, know this very well. And so then they proceed to go and light this incense to completely halt this plague that's about to break forth. Okay? Furthermore, the Kabbalists understand, as is established in our ancient esoteric traditions, that reading the section of the preparation of the holy incense, which, by the way, is not to be reproduced by any Israelite or any Goy for that matter, if you read this section, it will release spiritual energies that will then eliminate sorcery, mishaps, and evil and pestilence within your life. Okay. Now, I say that it's very important to understand that HaTorah explicitly stipulates that no Israelite or Goy is to reproduce this holy incense that is to be used in the Holy Temple. And yet we have many stupid, retarded Christians not knowing the Torah, not reading the Torah, or just being very stupid for that matter, that go and reproduce this incense. Websites that say, we have reproduced the incense, the holy incense that is in the Torah for you to purchase. You got to be really retarded and stupid. The Torah prohibits you from doing this. Otherwise, you're going to be cut off. You cut yourself off from the assembly, from the holy assembly of Elohei Yisrael, if you do this. I'm telling you, the stupidity that is sometimes found within Christianity is just so rampant, so mind-boggling that I just don't know what to say. Sometimes I'm just left completely mind-boggled and speechless. But let's not divert here. So going back to the secret and mystery of incense, the Kabbalists here understand and know very well the great mystery and secret behind burning incense, which is that it will abate and decrease the anger and wrath of Adonai if it exists. Okay? But it goes much deeper than that as well, right? If burning incense can do that, how much more powerful is incense when Adonai is not upset or angry? Because in that case, it will then bring a lot of blessings and spiritual power and energy. Okay, now the Kabbalists here also duly know that the Hebrew word for incense is ketoreth, and it actually derives from the Aramaic or Chaldaic root katar, which means to bind, or a nexus, or a link. And so essentially, quintessentially, very mystically, what incense is doing when it is burning is that it is binding and unifying the higher supernal realms, which is very similar to what the Yehudim do. So if you've seen part 2 of my series on High Holy Magic, which deals with the Yehudim, you should be able to understand that burning incense, the effects of burning incense are very similar to the supernal effects of the Yehudim, because ketoreth, incense, essentially is unifying and binding the higher supernal realms and the Sferoth, or Ha Elohim. Okay, that's what it's doing essentially. And in bringing unity above, thus restoration, this then allows for restoration to take place below, thus unifying the lower realms, and thus channeling these very powerful spiritual potencies and energies from above. Okay, and so this is the great secret and mystery behind burning incense. Okay, it's very, very, very powerful. And in this folio in the Zohar, the Kabbalists go very, very far in powerfully emphasizing the immense and tremendous power. I mean, the tremendous amount of power in burning incense. It's like nuclear bombs going off in the spirit realm. When you burn incense to Elohei Israel, it literally is like, you know, throwing off nuclear bombs in the spirit realm. It's that powerful. The power of the spiritual energy that is released and channeled when incense is burned is that tremendous. It cannot be emphasized enough, quite honestly. Okay, so now we'll move on to speak on the Queen of the Heavens. Okay, now at this point, many of you being holy initiates and adepts, you should already know that the Queen of the Heavens is Shekhinah, and is not Lilith or some pagan goddess, as so many Christians, and I would even say Jews, so ignorantly believe. They've been deceived and maybe to a large extent brainwashed. Okay, so here we're going to go into the proofs, the scriptural proofs of this recondite hidden truth. Okay, now we will find that this title, the Queen of Heavens, is only found in one place in the entire Tanakh, and that is Sefer Yirmiyahu. Now, we read in Sefer Yirmiyahu in chapter 7, verse 18, it states, "The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the Queen of the Heavens, and to pour out drink offerings unto other Elohim, and they may provoke me to anger." Okay, now this verse here is taken from the Hebrew Masorah, but it is not so in the Septuagint. Unfortunately, once again, most Christians have failed in doing their due diligence in studying all the texts, doing their critical analysis, and cross-referencing with the Septuagint, okay? Because the Septuagint is superior in certain respects to the Hebrew Masorah, okay? Now, we read in the Septuagint in Sefer Yirmiyahu in chapter 7, verse 18, it states, "The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead the dough to make cakes to the host of the heavens." Not the Queen of the Heavens, but to the host of the heavens. and to pour out drink offerings to the other gods that they may provoke me to anger. So the key difference here is that the Hebrew Masorah has the queen of the heavens, but the Septuagint has the host of the heavens, meaning somewhere along the way the Masorah got perverted and corrupted, because the true ancient rendering of this verse is the host of heavens, not the queen of heavens. The difference, extraordinarily momentous, okay, as we will see here shortly. Okay, so just from this context alone, there is no reference and no mentions of the queen of the heavens. The title doesn't exist here. Okay, so this verse is negative in connotation. Yes, it is. It is rebuking many Israelites who are offering libations and incense to other Elohim. Okay, but the queen of the heavens is not to be found in this negative context or connotation. This is very, very critical to understand. Okay, so let us proceed now. So here now, I'm going to read all of chapter 51 in the Septuagint, which corresponds to chapter 44 in the Hebrew Masorah. Okay, now we will start here and we'll dissect this into sections. Okay, in this first sections we read, the word that came to Yirmiyahu for all the Yehudim living in Egypt, even those settled in Magdoloth and in Taphnas and in the land of Pathores, saying, thus did Adonai Elohei Israel say, you have seen all the evils that I have brought on Jerusalem and on the cities of Yehuda, and behold, they are desolate of inhabitants because of their wickedness that they have committed, to embitter me by having gone to burn incense to other Elohim that they did not know. And I sent to you my servants the prophets early in the morning, and I sent, saying, do not do the things of this defilement that I hated. And they did not listen and did not incline their ear to turn from their evil, so as to not offer incense to other Elohim. And my wrath and my anger dripped, and it burned in the cities of Yehuda and outside of Jerusalem, and they became a desolation and something untrodden as this day. And now thus did Adonai El Shaddai say, why are you doing great harm to your souls to cut off your man, woman, and infant? Okay, so again, here in context, do we know that the main point of wrath of Adonai is the fact that many of these Israelites in Israel, in Jerusalem, in Yehuda, were burning incense to other Elohim. That's the core of the issue here that Adonai really hates, is when you burn incense to other Elohim. And so in context, that's what's going on here. Adonai is very upset that many Israelites are burning in Israel and in Yehuda are burning incense to other Elohim. And as we'll see here shortly, many of the Yehudim in Egypt seem to also be doing the same thing. Okay, so it continues by stating, from the midst of Yehuda, so as to not have anyone left, to embitter me with the works of your hands, to offer incense to other Elohim in the land of Egypt, there where you have come to live, that you be cut off, and that you become a curse and reproach among the Goyim of the earth. Surely you have not forgotten the evils of your fathers, and the evils of the kings of Yehuda, and the evils of your rulers, and the evils of your wives, which they committed in the land of Yehuda and outside of Jerusalem. And they have not stopped to this day, and they have not clung to my ordinances that I gave before their fathers. So again, as we can see here, now this rebuke is now being put on to the Jews living in Egypt. And so he's now saying to the Jews living in Egypt, hey, you Jews, you've already seen what I've done to the Jews in Israel who burned incense to other Elohim. I've destroyed them. I've punished them. So don't do this, because you don't want this to come upon you. Okay? So continuing, it states, therefore thus did Adonai say, behold, I am setting my face to destroy all those remaining who are in Egypt, and they shall fall by sword and by famine. They shall fail from small even to great, and they shall become a reproach and destruction and a curse. And I will visit upon those who are settled in Egypt as I have visited upon Jerusalem with sword and with famine, and none of those remaining of Yehuda who sojourn in the land of Egypt shall be saved to return to the land of Yehuda, there to which they hope in their souls to return. They shall not go back except as escapees. Continuing, it states, and all the men who were aware that their wives were offering incense to other Elohim, and all the women, a great gathering, and all the people who settled in Pathores in the land of Egypt, answered Yirmiyahu, saying, as for the word that you have spoken to us in the name of Adonai, we are not going to hear you, because in doing we will do every word that shall come out of our mouth to offer incense to the Queen of the heavens and to pour out libations to her, just as we and our fathers and our kings and our rulers did in the cities of Yehuda and outside of Jerusalem. And we were filled with bread, and we were well off and saw no evil. But when we left off offering incense to the Queen of the heavens, we were diminished and have failed by sword and by famine. And because we were offering incense to the Queen of the heavens and poured out libations to her, surely we did not make cakes for her and pour out libations to her without our husbands. So here, in context, it's very, very critical to understand what is being said. Here, after Yirmiyahu rebukes many of the Jews in Egypt, accusing them of burning incense to other Elohim, now their response back to Yirmiyahu is, listen, we've heard what you had to say, and what you don't know is that we are burning incense not to other Elohim, but we are burning incense to the Queen of the heavens. Moreover, our ancestors, the kings and the rulers and the peoples of Yehuda, have been doing so, since the time of Moshe. Since ancient times we've been doing so. And moreover, because we did this, because throughout the ages we Israelites have been burning incense to the Queen of Heavens, we have been very blessed in so doing. Okay? But when we didn't fulfill our obligations in burning incense to the Queen of the Heavens, we noticed that these blessings would depart and we would become cursed. That's what is being said here in context. Very, very, very critical to understand. Okay? If you do not understand this, then please reread the passage on your own time, meditate, seek Elohei Israel for understanding, because this is truly what is being said here. Okay? If you have a basic reading comprehension, you should understand this very well. Okay? Now continuing, it states, and Yirmiyahu said to all the people, the mighty men and the women, and all the people who answered him words, saying, as for the incense offering that you offered in the cities of theirs, and your kings and your rulers, and the people of the land, did not Adonai remember it? And did it not come up in his heart? And Adonai could no longer bear up before the evil of your deeds, before the abominations that you committed, and your land became a desolation and something untrodden and accursed as this day, because you were burning incense, and because you sinned against Adonai and did not obey the voice of the Adonai, and did not walk by his ordinances and by his Torah and by his testimonies. These evils have also taken hold of you. Again, here in context, Yirmiyahu responds back to what they just said and says, okay, I understand that you have been burning incense to the Queen of Heavens and that you were very blessed for doing so. But we now have a problem. The problem is that now in this generation, yes, you are burning incense to the Queen of Heavens, and Adonai, knows this and he recognizes this. However, at the same time that you're burning incense to the Queen of the Heavens, you have been sinning and breaking the commandments of the Torah. Okay? And you can't have it both ways. You cannot expect to burn incense to the Queen of the Heavens and expect all of these blessings, while at the same time you are committing abominations and breaking all of the commandments and ordinances of the Torah. Okay? It doesn't work that way. That's what Yirmiyahu in context is saying back. That's his reply back. Okay? So continuing, it states, and Yirmiyahu said to the people and the woman, hear a word of Adonai. Thus did Adonai, the Elohei Israel, say, you wives have spoken with your mouth and have accomplished with your hands, saying, in enacting we will enact our agreements to which we have agreed to burn incense to the Queen of the Heavens and to pour out libations to her. In respecting you respected your agreements, and enacting you enacted. Therefore hear a word of Adonai, all Yehuda who settled in the land of Egypt. Behold, I swear by my great name, said Adonai, if my name shall ever be in the mouth of all of Yehuda in all the land of Egypt, to say, Adonai lives, because behold, behold, I am watchful over them to harm them and not to do good, and all of Yehuda, those who live in the land of Egypt, shall fail by sword and by famine until they expire, and those who have escaped from the sword shall return to the land of Yehuda, few in number, and those remaining of Yehuda who are established in the land of Egypt to sojourn there shall know whose word will endure. And this shall be the sign that I am going to visit upon you for evil. Thus did Adonai say, behold, I am giving Wafre, king of Egypt, into the hands of his enemy, and into the hands of people that seek his soul, just as I gave King Sidkiyahu of Yehuda into the hands of King into the hands of King Nabucodonosor of Babylon, his enemy and one who sought his soul. So here, what Yirmiyahu's continuing response is, he's telling the Israelites, or the Jews here, he's telling them, you have spoken with your mouth, but you've accomplished with your hands, okay? Which is essentially, I guess, a sign of, it's an expression, right? Meaning that, you say one thing, but you do the other, right? Your actions are not in line with your words, right? And this goes back to the fact that, yes, they were burning incense to the Queen of Heavens. They said they did, but their acts proved and showed otherwise, in the fact that they committed abominations and, most relevantly, broke the commandments and the ordinances of the Torah. So in holistic context, this is actually what's really going on. And for whatever reason, I don't know how this most basic comprehension of the underlying text and context has just gone over the heads of practically most, if not all, Christians, as well as Jews. Okay? So, speaking on this Queen of Heavens, who is Shekhinah, our Heavenly Mother, right, we learn from the text, from this oracle, that burning incense to her is one of the most powerful holy acts. It brings many blessings. Okay, here we see the Israelites, or the Jews, replying back to Yirmiyahu, saying, we recall our history where so many Israelites were burnt incense to the Queen of the Heavens, who is Shekhinah, and as a result, we became very blessed. And when we didn't do so, those blessings were not present. Okay? Now, I personally speak from experience in knowing this, because for a long time, I myself have been burning incense to the Queen of the Heavens. And every time I do, many blessings come my way. In fact, I feel like a very blessed young Jew, right? I feel like I'm a Jew that makes that stereotype come true, which is that many Jews are very wealthy and very blessed because they are the chosen ones. And I very much feel like that in many respects and regards, because I am a holy chosen Jew, who's initiated and I guess is blessed as a result of his high initiation. So I feel like I help in creating that stereotype, which is really, really good and makes me feel proud. Okay, as one example of this, there was, I can provide many examples, but one example or anecdote is, I think a couple of years ago, I was transitioning from one job to another, and I really, really wanted to, get a new job. And I went on a job interview for a job that I really wanted to get. And the night before the interview, I actually burned a lot of incense to Shekhinah, the Queen of the Heavens. And what happened was, I got the job. And so it was totally miraculous. So it's very, very powerful indeed. So here I provide a prayer to offer incense to the Queen of the Heavens, who is Shekhinah. Now, before I say the prayer, it's very critical to understand that Shekhinah has many titles, okay? You study the Kabbalah, you begin to realize that these emanations, these gods, have many titles, right? Shekhinah has many titles, one of them being Malchuth, Bathuel. She has many, many titles, just as Zadik has many titles. Zadik, Yesod, he has many titles. Kol, he has many titles, okay? And the Queen of the Heavens is just one other such voracious title for Shekhinah. Now, here's where the problem comes into play, okay? My question is, who is the King of the Heavens? Who is the King of the entire heavens and the universe? Well, it's Zadik, who is the father of Mashiach. Now, Zadik happens to just be the father of Mashiach and Lucifer, okay? The problem is that even though Zadik and Mashiach, or really Zadik is the king of the heavens and Mashiach is the prince of the heavens, the problem is that Lucifer, being a copycat, takes that title. Lucifer, as one of his titles, calls himself the king of the heavens. He actually thinks he's the king of the heavens. That's what he strives to be. And many Luciferians and Satanists call him the King of the Heavens. But is that true? No. You have to be pretty stupid and retarded and ignorant to believe that the title, the King of the Heavens, truly belongs to Lucifer. No, it does not. Likewise, his mate Lilith takes on the title of the Queen of the Heavens, also being a copycat. But the Queen of the Heavens is Shekhinah, and the Princess of the Heavens is her daughter, Metatron, okay, which is the mate of Mashiach. But Lilith wants to usurp that and take that title. And there are many Luciferians, many Satanists, many witches, many pagans that worship Lilith as the goddess and truly believe that she is the Queen of the Heavens and truly call her by that title. And so therefore we have many ignorant and stupid Christians, and to a large extent Jews, who then, seeing this, not knowing any better, think that the Queen of the Heavens is really the true title of Lilith or Ishtar, when in fact it's a true title to Esther or Shekhinah. Okay? Please understand this very, very carefully and very well. Okay? This is the crux of the deception. Now, back to this prayer to offer incense to the Queen of the Heavens. Okay? When I offer incense to the Queen of the Heavens, which I do almost on a weekly basis, I usually begin once the charcoal is lit in the cauldron, I then will place the resin upon the charcoal, and as the smoke begins to ascend, I then recite this prayer in the original, which in Hebrew is A'ale kol zoth ketoreth lech mlechet hashamayim Elohei Yisrael b'shem Yeshua HaMashiach, which the English translation is, I offer up all this incense to thee, the Queen of the Heavens, of the gods of Israel, in the name of Jesus Christ. Okay? And a good ritual, actually, based on what we read in this, what I just read to you in the Zohar, is to first, before you actually light the incense on the charcoal, or maybe after you're done lighting the charcoal and before you place the resin on the charcoal, it would be really good to read the section in the Torah of the preparation of the incense. Right? That should only take maybe a few minutes or so. Once you're done doing that, then you can proceed with this prayer. And then once you're done praying that and the incense is filling up your holy room with a lot of smoke, then you can proceed with your magical operations, which would be whether it's be Yehudim, Tikkunim, prayers, meditation, whatever it may be. So I hope you learned a lot in this presentation, and that concludes it. So Shalom, Amen.